Hello everyone and welcome to... Hey, is my camera frozen? Why is that frozen? Is that frozen? That is frozen, isn't it? Hang on, let's restart the camera. Why is that frozen? Am I frozen on your screen? I'm going to unplug it and plug it back in. If that fixes it. Hey, there we go. Hey. How are we all? Welcome to Wednesday's live stream, which is a question time. So question time is a chance for you to ask any question you like about games development, Unreal Engine 4, whatever you want. It's totally up to you. We're an open book for the next hour. So I'll try and help as many people as I can. Now, the way you do this is just put a question into chat and put it wherever you want. And if I don't see it, just put it in there again, and I will hopefully try and catch it throughout the evening. So yes, we are live. So hello and welcome. I can see we got Novice Stream, Bernardo, Grimm's Warden, Israel Ortiz, Brett, Angus. Hello, Connor. Hello everyone. Hopefully everyone is all well and good. So a little bit of housekeeping as per usual. If you want a private session or tutoring or freelance work, please email me at support@ryana.com, because we've got no more sessions now for June. June is fully booked. I can't fit any more sessions into June. And July is quickly filling up because I'm going on vacation for a few days during July as well. So keep that in mind. But reminder, I am going full-time in July. So expect loads of cool stuff coming out from July onwards. I can't wait to get started with that stuff. So I've got loads of really cool stuff to go with that. But yes, so if you do fancy a private session, please email me for availability and obviously the rates and so forth. Anyway, shall we get started and jump right in? So let's jump into our live scene here and answer some questions. Thank you so much, Brett, for the donation. You say you got an AI question, by all means, throw it at me. What's your AI question? Whilst we're waiting for your question there, let's take a look at what else we've got going on here. So we've got G or Chi. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I think I get it wrong every time. Ryan, I'm using a sky sphere for a night scene. I've got the sun position to -1 to make it night, but the horizon is still super bright. How do you control it? Okay, so here's your sky sphere. I guess it's the same one you're using. So this is controlled by default by the direction of the directional light. So you probably got that rotated round to be dark like that, and you go to click on the sky sphere and hit the refresh the material. So you're talking about this horizon here in the distance, I assume, maybe. So at the moment this is color determined by sun position. So if you want to customize the colors here, you need to turn that off. So if you want, you can turn it off. But if you do want to customize it, you have to turn it off and then come down here, and here you can change the various colors. So there's zenith color here. We can change the sun height as well, and that will change the colors too. No. Oh no, it's because it's tied to the directional light. Never mind. So you can just change the colors here to whatever you want. So make them dark, black up there. You see. Change the horizon color. And change that to be darker. Cloud color. Bring it way down. Overall color, you can again give a whole tint to the whole scene. So you make it a bit more bluey. Get a blue nighttime scene. Do that like that as well. Here. Just don't forget to rebuild your lighting so the skylight is then repurposed in around the scene, so it bounces around. But that is how you can change the colours to be whatever you want, like so. Hopefully that helps you out. Brett, question. Thank you for the donation first of all. So I'll answer your question. So currently making roaming AI animals using behavior tree, moving to random location. I want realistic movement instead of constantly moving in a straight line to a random point. Okay. Very complicated. But let's, for example, put in... Hang on, let me get the... I've got some animals I can bring in, so I'll bring some animals in. Hold on. Animal variety pack, add to project, and hold on, we'll add it to this one. Okay. Yeah, so it is quite complicated. I don't think we'll cover all of it in this, but we'll show some aspect to it. How to get animal movement looking a bit more natural to animals. It all mostly comes down to animation that you have available to you. If you're missing parts of animation, then this is going to make it very, very difficult. I think the animal variety pack that's on the Epic Marketplace for free has this covered pretty well, I think, if I remember rightly. So let's say we're going to make a wolf, okay? So the wolf here, we've got these animations. I'm going to make a wolf character. So I'm going to go blueprint class, character, wolf. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Wolf. There you go. And in here, we're going to give it the wolf mesh. Wolf. Wait for that to come in. Going a bit slow tonight. Oh, wait. Let's pause my OneDrive. My OneDrive's deciding to upload stuff. Stop. What are you doing? Pause. 2 hours. That should stop that from eating up all my bandwidth. Okay, so I'm going to rotate that around to face 90. Put it in the center. And change the height of my capsule to match the sort of height of my animal here. Like so. Okay. And bring him down so he's more on the floor of that. There we go. That'll do. Okay. So a few things to note here. As I said, it all comes down to animations. If you want to move more realistically. So this guy has... turn. There we go. So there's two types of turn. He has in place and he has root motion. So you can approach it from two different ways. You've got in place movement or you've got root motion movement. It may be easier with root motion movement for animals like this that have turning radiuses, but by all means you can do it with this turning here and customizing it like as such. So let's go into our animation blueprint for this wolf and click OK. Wolf anim, and we'll do this. Now when we're doing this, we need to make a state machine first of all. And call it movement, and we'll plug that in like so. Now in here we're going to do add state and do idle, and then add another state for movement. Now also handle the turning as well. Now having the transition back as well. So idle, let's add wolf idle to this. Idle breathing. And movement, we'll make up some stuff in here in a second. And in our variables here, we want to get speed. Should be a float. And that'll be used to determine whether or not you can go into this. So do speed get greater than 0. And go back. Speed get less than or equal to 0. Go back to the event graph, and we're just going to do an is valid for this. And we're going to get the velocity of this thing. Pretty standard stuff, nothing special here. It's the same as it always is. Vector length. And that'll be set to speed there. That's how fast they're going. Hit compile and save that. And go back to my wolf. And go into viewport, select him, and add the wolf anim. There he is. So the main thing that's different with this is if you go to character movement, you don't want the character to use the rotation set by the controller. So at the moment, if you go to class defaults, it says use controller rotation yaw. That's on by default because most of the time you're doing that with the player controller because you want the player to turn as the player moves the controller. But in this case, we don't. We're going to turn that off. Then we're going to go to our character movement here and go down to rotation section. And your rotation rate is how fast you want it to turn, and that would be its turning circle basically. So if I change that to like 90, that should be pretty good there. So hit compile on that. I think that's everything here. Make sure that's right. Yeah, we want to use this one. Use controller desired rotation. Turn that on. Hit compile and save that. So turn those things on, change the rotation rate. And that rotation rate will need to be tweaked based on the animation you're playing on this wolf here. So we need to make a blend space for our animations here. So go to animation, blend space. We'll do one direction. And we'll do wolf. And we'll do movement, blend space. And go into here. And on here, we're going to have the... do I have run? Oh, I should do a 2D. I've got run and walk. Hold on. Didn't realise I had two. Animation, blend space, 2D. Wolf. Okay. Right, so we'll go walk here. We'll put that there. We'll do walk, turn left. There. Walk, turn right there. In fact, put just further sides here. And we've got run. So we do run. There. Run, turn left. There. Run, turn right. There. So he'll turn his body accordingly. Okay. So I want to change the horizontal axis here for direction. And that's going to go from -90 to 90. And vertical is speed. Going from 0 to 600, I guess. Save that. Close that. Back in here. Movement, movement. And then we drag in our blend space. Speed goes there. And direction, we're going to come out and promote that to a variable called direction. Now, the direction we want it to go towards is going to be the... I'm trying to remember how I did this now for the other guy. We want to take the difference between the angle they were going... I think... No. What do we want to do? Can't recall that now. What do we do? Get a direction. Or type in direction for me. Direction. Calculate direction. And base rotation is going to be this. Get actor rotation. Plug that into there. I'll do this by default. This is the normal way of doing it, but I don't think this is correct for this. I'm trying to remember what I did before last time I've done something like this. But nonetheless, you'll set all this up. And I noticed you said that you're having issues with making them like walk around the environment in a natural curvy sort of way. This will help with that because as they turn, they've got to take longer turning circles. So if you get this bit done and hopefully it works, then you can reassess whether or not you need to add more randomness to their movement. In which case, you want to look at getting a point rather than randomly in a range around them. You pick a point that's in like a cone in front of them or to the side of them instead. So yeah. Nonetheless, we'll do that. Let's add some basic AI to this thing. So we'll do AI, behavior tree, wolf BT, blackboard, wolf BB. We'll just make him use the default controller here. So on the default controller, we'll begin play get AI controller, run behavior tree. Do that one, and the control actor itself. Okay, and this is going to have a move to. So selector, sequence, ooh, move to, and we'll make that a vector on here. Target location, save, and make it move towards that target location. Save that. Make a new task. Execute AI. I'll get rushing through this. This stuff I've done many times before on my channel, so if it's not new to everyone. So we're gonna get random. No, sorry, get location. And random point in navigable radius. Radius of 2000. Ooh. And we'll make a variable. Location. Blackboard key selector. Make it editable. Drag it out. Set location. Oh no, set vector. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. Then finish. Execute. Tick that. Compile. Done. I'm not going to bother renaming it. Just say I want to get through this quickly. To test things and then be done with it. Hopefully. So drag our wolf out. Like so. We put a nav mesh in there. And he should hopefully like have a turning circle on him because he can't turn on a dime. Theoretically. Oh wait, let's turn light back on. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, hopefully he turns. Yeah, so you need to make it a sharper turn, basically. So I just need to change the rotation rate on that. I think maybe a bit faster, 180. See what that looks like. Hit play. It's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Again, it's just a matter of tweaking the numbers. But if you want to say like make him so he doesn't do a completely random point, where he does like back like zigzag all over the place, you can go into your task here rather than getting a find random point in radius like this. Get the actor's location, get their forward vector. Forward. No, so we'll get the right vector. Right vector. And do random cone. You'll see a random unit vector in cone in degrees. And you want to pick the direction here. Now, direction here is going to be randomized between the right vector being multiplied by 1 or -1. So it either turns left or right. So we'll take this and we'll do multiplied by float. Plug that in there. And we'll do select float. And do a random ball. And do 1 -1. So it's either going to go left or right. And then it'll pick the current half angle in degrees. So we'll do 45 and plug that in there. Oh, no, not there. I have to then. I'm going to change the radius here from 2000 to 200. Multiply this range here by a distance. That'll make it so it picks a far distance. So I'll do 500. Plug that in there. Radius will do 100. So now it's going to either basically go in a circle. Oh, there it goes. Randomly picking left or right. So he's not going to turn back on himself. He's only going to turn left or right. Right, maybe that gives you some ideas, Brett. Of where you can get started and go further with this if you need to go further with this. But there's a good start on getting that sort of thing going. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hopefully that gives you a good start there, Brett. Gregors, hi Ryan, man, you look tired. I am tired. I had 2 hours sleep last night thanks to my son. So, all good. I'm not losing my mind at all. Between that and work, yeah. Right, next question. So, let's go to Bartasus 1. Hey Ryan, what's the most optimal way to place UI interaction prompt? I create a widget at begin play and on tick, I run a branch to check if the player is looking at it. Can it be more optimal? I mean, if you're that should be fine. Create a widget at begin play. On tick, I run a branch to check if the player is looking at it. Yeah, I mean that seems fine. You have to remember line traces are really, really cheap. So by all means, do a line trace on a tick. That's totally okay. Then Dennis Demir, hi Ryan, I have a question. For animations that don't use player controller, would it be more optimized to use blueprints for other objects or the level sequencer? For animations that you don't use a player controller, would it be more optimized to use blueprints for other objects or with the level sequencer? It depends on what you're animating. Level sequencer you should reserve for cutscene type things. And by cutscene, they don't necessarily have to be like story-based cutscenes. It could be literally like the camera cuts to a door opening and that's a cutscene. So that's totally okay. You can do it like that. Optimization-wise, there's no real difference. It's the same thing. I don't think there's much difference in it at all. Vlad, how are you, Ryan? How to make a simple memory game with colors? Like what Simon, where you do like red, blue, green, all that stuff. We can try and make that quickly now, but I don't know if it would be. I think that might take up the rest of the stream, unfortunately, though, because it's quite a bit. I could speed through it if you want, maybe. We'll see what other questions come up first. Armet, I want to explain my problem through an example. For example, I placed a cube at a location 0, 0, 0. Then I put a mechanic on the character. When I press the C key, my character should move to a location 0, 0, 0 with move component to node. Okay. What else is there? I'll wait for your next message. There is. What I want to do is foresee the location, which the what? Do you mean I meant like you want to see like a shadow where that they would end up, like an icon almost on the in the world showing where they're heading towards? I think that's what you're talking about. I'm not too entirely sure, unfortunately. Keep explaining it. I'll answer some other questions whilst you're explaining it. Bernardo, question: how to create an actor with a component spline in game? I want the player to create pipelines and things like that. Oh boy, it's a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work. It's not easy at all. You basically got to recreate the spline tool manually yourself. There's no way to easily do it. You have to make it all manually yourself, which is damn difficult. Yeah, yeah, I would have. There's no way we can go through it in this episode, but but be prepared is a lot of work. So when the player, like, just for a simple thing, like when the player clicks on the screen, how do you know how deep they want to place it? Then once they've placed it and they click again, how do you know the tangent they want to plan it to? So you have to realign the tangents manually as they place new points. Yeah. I mean, I can't read the previous tutorial. I don't know which tutorial. I released so many. I can't keep track of what one you might have posted this in. Is it that you want to see, like for example, a dog running around? You want to see where they were heading towards with like a little, like shadow thing, maybe. Is that what you're after? Okay. Cooler, hello. What do you think? Models built in current Blender, are they going to be compatible with Unreal Engine 5, which will when they come out at the end of the year? Yes. Yes, they will. Um, question, this from Israel Ortiz. If you have an enemy AI BP and want to replace the skeletal mesh, do you create a child blueprint? I created one, but it was not inheriting my enemy AI enemy BP. Yes, you would create a child blueprint. Yes. And plan on replacing the skeletal mesh that way. No, not duplicate. You can duplicate it, but then all the code will have to be the same. If you change it in one, it will change it. You have to change it again in the other. If you want to have the same code, inherit the same stuff, you can just change the skeletal mesh for a child. Right. Okay. You want to calculate the best location to take cover, and glitching problem will be fixed. Or maybe we can create a new node, calculate new location of collision object based on the physics. Oh, dear me. That's a long one to answer, Ahmet. We can try and go through it. Trying to think how I can easily do it now. Hmm. I can show you half of it within the time frame we have. So on this doggy that I've got here, I can make it spawn the target at the location you want it to target to. If you're doing cover, you want to do a capsule trace. That will make sure that the capsule will be able to sit behind something, and then you can paint a mesh on top of that location. Yeah, God. I think we don't have enough time really to go through that at all right now. But I'll add it to my to-do list of videos. I will be doing a cover system. I'll make that part of that in the future. But right now I don't think we have time to go through it. I don't think. Apologies. It's quite a few bits involved in it. More so than we can do in half an hour. I'm quick, but I'm not that quick. But you're looking at a capsule trace as that one of the key things part of that. Okay, right, Vlad, if memory game is too long, how about unlockables? Unlockables, I've done stuff before with the skill system. Check out some stuff in that and the skill system. There's loads of ways to do unlockables. You have to keep track of it in your save file and so forth. But let's make Simon Says. Let's do a simple Simon Says game. We'll call it Simon. And we'll make Simon Button. Simon Button. And get rid of that and put in the button. And compile that graph. And we're going to go into here. Color. And that'll be a linear color. And we're going to set the color of the background of this button to be this color. So on pre-construct, get button, set color, set background color there to this color here. Okay. By default, the color does have alpha on it, so you're going to turn the alpha way up. So it'd be black by default, like that. We need to make a function here to display the color. So make a custom event, display color. And what we're going to do is we'll take this display color, and we'll make it display the color like that. And then we'll put a delay for however long you want to show that to the player. So we'll do like 1 second. And then we'll do it again. But this time, the color is not going to be our variable here. But we're going to make it black again. So black. That'll be on pre-construct there, so we can do it while testing. Then on construct, we're going to set the background to be this. Okay. So at the start of the game, you can't tell which color is which. For example, well, actually, no, you still want to see the color, don't you? So it'll be oh dear me, it'll be color by linear color. If I multiply that by, what happens if we multiply this color by white? Don't know how it handles multiplying this. Hold on. Make that green. And if I plug that into there, makes it green. If I make it lighter, if I change that alpha here to 0.5, does it change that too? Yeah, it does. Cool. Okay, we do that. Does it also change this to 0.5? 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, we can do it like that. Okay, so that's the default color that it starts off with. So to light it up, we're going to take the color, multiply it. We'll take this. Put that in there. And multiply it by 1, 1, 1, 1. So it lights it up. After 1 second, we'll do this into there. We don't need the construct now then. I do. So we have display color. When I click on this button as well, do that. We'll do display color. So it shows the player what color they clicked and highlight it. And then we want to do an event dispatcher that says color selected. And we'll drag that out and call that. Okay, then on the Simon screen here, we're going to add our buttons. So let's do user created, Simon button. And I'll anchor it to the center of the screen. I'm just going to position it like so. That'll do. I'm going to make this do different ones as well. So I'm going to do different colors. So there's one going to be there, one there, one there. Obviously, you could be a lot more accurate where you place these things. And for each one, I should be able to go and change the color, which I forgot to make editable. So I go back here, make the color editable. Go back to here, and I should be able to change the color. Yep. So that is now going to be red. So turn it down, make that red. This one we're going to make blue. This one will make red and green, yellow, and this one will make purple. No, green and blue, whatever that is, cyan. There we go. Compile, done. Okay, now I'll do that. Then on the graph of this, we are going on the construct. We need to take all of these buttons, get. In fact, I think I can just do it. No, you can't, bollocks. One at a time. Okay, we do make array. Add each one to the array. Okay, and then do a for each loop. For each one, in fact, whilst we're here, we're just going to just promote it to a variable. So button array, and plug that in there, there. And then for each one, we're going to bind event to color selected. So when we click on it, it does something on here. And it's going to be checking what is the one we're showing. So for that, we'll do here, we'll do a custom event to check color, basically. And for this, we need to send over which color or which button it was selected. So we need to do which button. So on the button here, we're going to make an input on our event dispatcher. And this would be the button reference, so that'd be Simon button, compile, and the button here is going to be self. I'm being I'm trying to be as quick as possible. Okay, once we've done that, we're then going to take this button and we're going to check it against an array that we're going to build now, which is going to build up the sequence. And obviously the sequence is going to be random as it builds. So we need to have a variable of sequence length, which is an integer, starting at the value of 1. And we need to add a sequence as well. So this would be another button array, but this would be a sequence array. And this refers to each button. So we'll change that to Simon button. And yeah, Simon button. And that would be an array of those. Okay. Right, so on construct, we're taking each of these buttons and binding an event to them to check the color. But we need to build that sequence first of all. So before any of this happens, we need to check whether or not, once it's completed doing that, we have to build that sequence, display that sequence. So we need to make a function or event on here. We'll just do a function event. We'll call it grow sequence. We'll call it. And for grow sequence, we are going to take sequence length, increment it, and no, what we're going to do? What am I going to do? My God, my brain's frazzled. We need to add to the sequence. So do custom event, add to sequence. And we're going to take a variable in here. We do current index. That's going to be an integer. Because we will need to show each one at a time. We need to keep track of what one we're showing. So it's the current index that we're showing. So on add to sequence here, it's going to take this sequence. No, what am I going to do? The sequence array, going to get that. And you're going to add to it. Button array, get random, integer in range. No, I can just get random from here, can't I? Yeah, random array item. There you go. Plug that in there. Okay, so when I add to sequence, I'm finding a random button. I'm adding it to my sequence array, and as I do that, I need to show that button that we've selected here. So I'm actually going to make this a function, so I can use local variables instead. Yeah, sure, why not? So it's button random. Promote that to a local variable. Random button. Plug that in there, and then use that one. So I'll add it to that array. Then I'll take that random button out, and I want to call the display color, so it shows its color. And then yeah, do that. Compile, save, and it does that. Then I want it to take the current index. No, not there. Not there. Okay, go back to the design view. No, not design view, the event graph. And this will be on the grow sequence. So we'll take sequence length, increase it by 1, add to sequence. No. Hang on. Right, custom event, show sequence. Let's work out the show sequence. That's easier to sort out. So on show sequence, we are going to set the current index. Ooh. Set that to 0. And then we're going to get the sequence array and do get a copy of that. Actually, we'll do find. No. Valid? Check if it's valid, yeah. It is valid. We get that index. And then we do display color. Then we'll tell it to delay for 1.5 seconds. After it's displayed that, we're going to increase the current index by 1. So get ++. And then we're going to call this function again, show sequence. All right. No, it's not that. think that's it. Show sequence. My brain is frazzled. I can't do this. This little sleep. Okay, show sequence. Okay. Then on false, that means we've reached the end of our sequence. We want to make it the player's turn. So we go new variable is player's turn, which should be a boolean, and set that to true. Yeah. And when it does that, I'm going to set the current index back down to 0. Because we need to check it against each one we click on. Okay. Once it's done that, that will show the sequence. We want to grow the sequence and set the sequence though before we show it. So we're going to grow sequence. We increase the sequence length and add to sequence. We're going to get a random button, add it to a sequence array, and display its not display its color. I'm not right about that. Just add it to the sequence. So grow sequence, do that to sequence length. Yeah. I think grow sequence, do that. Okay, so once it's done that, we take the grow sequence. So it'll make something put in a sequence there. I'm going to set sequence length here to 0 to start actually, so it sets it to 0. That increases it to 1. Add the sequence, we add 1 to it. Then after we grow sequence, we then show the sequence. Making it the player's turn. I also want to bind an event to these buttons to activate them. So, we'll do a button here. Go on the button. We'll do is active, and make it so you can only click on it when it's active. Get branch. I can see questions going off. I will get back to them in a second. Just want to try and get something out of this. So now we do that if it's active, and on here we'll make a custom event is set active, and we'll make that a boolean, and we'll do that to that. Compile, save. Then on here is player's turn. We're going to get all the buttons, so button array, get, and then for each one we're going to say set active to true. Making the player's turn, so the player then click on it. And when they click on it, we're going to check their color. So the button we get back here, we're going to get a sequence array and do get the current index that we're looking at. Do these match with an equals. Go into a branch. If that is true, we're going to increase current index by 1. And we're going to check if it's valid. So sequence array, valid index. And if that is not valid, that means we've reached the end of the sequence. Therefore, it's to be able to grow sequence again. So we do grow sequence and show sequence. So copy that. Plug that in there. That's on false, sorry. If it is valid, we want to do nothing really. It will just let the player click. Oh no, we want to increase the. Oh no, that's fine. It'll just do nothing. And then once we've done that, we want to take oh my god, take this, copy that, paste this, and turn that off, and turn that off. I think that does it. So let's just make this also make it on the construct. Here we do set input mode to UI only, get controller, set show mouse cursor, tick that on, compile, close, player character, we'll just do and begin play, create widget, choose our Simon Says game, add to viewport, compile. Let's see if this works. It probably doesn't. I think it showed that blue, 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 blue. I'm getting just blue all the time. Oh wait, am I getting a random value? That's just getting stuck. Okay, what's wrong? Okay, so it does that. Grow sequence. Sequence length plus add to sequence. Button array. Get a random one from that. Add that to sequence array. Okay, and then we do show sequence. So get current index. Sequence array. We get that. Display the color of that one. Wait, current index increases by 1. Show sequence again. So it does this. Current index. Oh wait, I don't want to do set again. That's why. I just want to do that there. And current index, I want to do there. And before I do show sequence, we set the current index to 0, and that would be the same over here too. Okay, let's see that again. So red, red, I'm gonna do it. No, okay. Hang on, let's do that again. Green. Green. Display color. Show sequence. Sequence array. The current index. I want to check if current index is valid, don't I? That's why. It's there. That's why. Dismiss, dismiss. Okay, do that again. Yellow. Yellow. Blue. Yellow. Blue. It's showing them both at the same time now. That's yellow, blue, cyan. Yellow, blue, cyan, yellow. Yeah, it's missing the first one. Yellow, blue, cyan, yellow, yellow. Yellow, blue, cyan, yellow, yellow, yellow. It's missing the first one for some reason. Yellow, blue, cyan, yellow, 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 blue. So it kind of works. I don't know why I'm sticking with these three. There you go. Just bad luck. Yellow, blue, cyan, yellow, 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 blue, cyan, yellow, green. And so on and so forth. So obviously some minor improvements can be made, but we'll end it there. Spent way too long on it already. Oh, I messed up. I needed, like, you have to do the fail state, and you have to do other stuff like that. But by and large, it's there. Okay. I'm gonna stop it there though. Maybe I'll turn it into a full series of videos, like a short series of videos later on. But yeah, there you go. Maybe I'm a wolf. He's just running around. Okay, we're gonna answer a few more questions, and then we're gonna call it a night. Even though we've run out of time, I just want to make sure we get a couple more people in there. Okay. I'm scrolling back up to see some questions. Please put in your questions. Thanks, Ryan. Can also use this system to flash images also. Yeah, just turn the visibility of an image off and on. Rather than change the color or something, you just turn the image visible off and hidden. And then wait, turn it back on again. Can we control a lower body in a character using behavior tree and the upper body using the player commands? Totally. Yeah, you totally can. So, again, too much to set up here, but you make them run around like normal, but you want to make their aiming read the player controller. The player controller doesn't necessarily have to possess them. You're just looking at the control rotation and so forth, and it should be okay. It should work. Yeah. Underfunded scientist, is behavior tree more efficient than using pawn sensing? Yes. Pawn sensing is old, and I would recommend not using it. Instead, you should use AI perception, which is the newer one. Behavior tree is different from that entirely, but behavior trees, people are afraid to use them. I don't know why. They are far, far easier and far quicker to get things up and running. And a lot better to do AI with, because it's more about decision making, so it makes it a lot quicker to get stuff sorted out. So definitely do it. IKB, how to make a save game widget and load game. I've got videos already on that, so please check them out. Just look at my channel for save game and load game, and you will see widgets for that. I think it's part 3 I cover that, so do check that out. Bernardo, any tips for debugging? Yes, I will be doing a separate video on that. I don't want to go through it now because there's quite a few bits. Yes, there is a video coming out soon, hopefully, about debugging and tips about how to do debugging. So yeah. Our foot AIK is too expensive for multiple AI. Again, it's like it is a matter of like what's too much. You can push it as far as you want until you start seeing some problems. It depends on how many things you got. Andre Ramirez, how do you go about doing a prop hunt type of thing? I just did something similar last week, actually, Andre. So if I made a pawn, for example, all the things that you want to control have to be pawns, first of all. And let's say it's got no item in it. So we'll do a mesh, static mesh, and we'll give it a chair, for example. The chair is going to have a collision component to it, which you can use itself as the collision if you wish, I guess. So If I drag it to the top there, that'd be fine. I can make this possessable. So we'll on here we'll do move forwards. So when I push move forwards, we're going to add a force to this. So we're going to add angular hang on, force. What did we do? No, what did we do before? Right, we did it last week. What was it? Angular. Is it angular velocity? Was it? Or add angular impulse? Force. Radial force. That's what. Origin. It's a relative and world space, so not there. We want to take the static mesh, get world location, put that there. Radius, I don't know, 100. Strength, I think it's radial force. Strength, 300. I ain't got a clue. Put that in there. Tell it to be possessed by the player. I realised I ain't got a camera on it. Hang on. Camera. Should I actually have it on spring arm? I need to add more force. I swear it was this one we've done. Oh wait, enabled physics. No, that would help. I need more power. More power. 50,000. More power. I swear, did we do this last time? Maybe we want radial force. Maybe it was angular. Increase radius here, 500. Just trying all sorts. Oh, too much. Oh yeah, I want to multiply this by the strength. So it'd be this multiplied by float. Right in there. Too much. I say, if not, check out the video from last week. We did it there. I just can't recall what the bloody numbers are or what the node it was. Spring arm. Pawn control rotation. Oh yeah, there you go. Just need to turn it around the right way. A bit more power to it. Just realised I made it smaller. I don't know what's going on about there. First of all, I've gone around the wrong way, so this has got to be... I'll just put negative here. That'll fix that. I think the radius here is too big. It's whatever the size is of the shape you want to do. Yeah, I don't know. Check out last week's film. We did it there. I can't remember now. You need to be a pawn to possess it, yeah, Andres. Yeah, you need to have it as a pawn. You can't just possess actors. It has to be pawns. Actors do not accept player controller inputs, so you have to change that. We'll do one more question. And we'll take a look at Mike sees is it possible to replicate non-actor blueprint classes? I'm trying to create a manager class under my game state that has some child replicated variables. I'm having some issues getting it to work. Non-actor blueprint classes. I'm trying to create a manager. Yeah, it should be. I'm pretty certain every event can be replicated. So you should be able to. I don't see why you wouldn't. I'm not familiar with anything that wouldn't work with that. Yeah. We'll try. Well, I wouldn't know exactly. I'll have to try that out. Majid, how old are you? I'm 33. When's the next Aurora stream? Good question. I don't know. Maybe this Saturday. It's been quite hard lately. It's a very, very, very busy time of year for me. End of the term, getting all our students finished, and also I'm wrapping up my job at the college. Because I'm going full time from July, getting stuff ready for that too. Plus doing a load of private work, freelance work, private tuition, private tutoring stuff, and consulting work for various projects, for various game studios. I'm all over the place at the moment, so it's very, very busy for me. So I'm trying my best to try and keep on top of it. So apologies for any if I don't respond to messages that some people are sending me. I'm trying my best. Just heavy times at the moment. I think I have about 30 one-to-ones each week, on top of my normal day job, and also doing some freelance work for various studios and teams around the world. Okay, so very, very busy, but nonetheless, that brings us to the end of tonight's live stream. So I just want to say very much a massive thank you for all of my Patreon members and YouTube members for their continued donations and support. It is really amazing, so thank you so much. You guys are the reason why I'm able to do this full time. I've got a family, I've got a wife and kids, and it helps me able to support them whilst doing this. And what that means is I can do more of this and do more exciting, cool things for you guys and help more of you out with various other things. So thank you so much for everyone's help and donations and support. It really is everything. So thank you again so much. Other than that, there are more content coming out this week, as well as more live streams. I'm going to try and do the live stream Saturday. I missed last week's one because it's just too busy with stuff. I'm going to try and make it so we can do it this Saturday, but obviously we'll see how things go. Thanks again, everyone, for watching me and watching my channel. Watching my channel, and joining me tonight. Thanks again, and I'll see you all next time. Be safe and sleep well. Bye, guys.